the good boy over to the side a little bit. Turn on my mic. Probably move my mic over here so that way it's a little easier to hear me. It's not behind me. Last but not least, I need to find this PFP I have saved somewhere. Doing some reading over the description of the character now. The head's like a sling backpack. Okay. Okay, prosthetic paw raised up to the ankle. I don't know why I haven't heard of some of these terms. Hip flask? Oh, that's probably why. It's alcoholic thing. Okay, so he's keeping the scarf, he's keeping the vest, he's keeping the same basic leaf young colors, and he's keeping the fact that he has long fur. Go ahead and draw out a frame first, so I know what I'm going into. Sorry. I just woke up. Sorry if I sound a little groggy. Did some art last night, so I decided to do a little bit more art this morning. Might open up some UCHs and commissions for anyone that's interested in that. I've also been getting a lot of requests to add bits to my streams. Again, I kind of don't want to do that yet until I start getting some more viewers. But people are getting a little desperate for some reason. How to make this look like a leaf is the problem. I don't have a lot of experience with Leafeons. All I can say is I'm trying my best. Of course, this is just a frame too. I can always edit it down the road. Alright, some more defining features is the character has a vest, a scarf, and a prosthetic arm or prosthetic paw on this leg right here. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to draw that now. Now the vest doesn't have any detail to it, so I'm just going to design my own vest. I don't see any other detail. There was a shirt, but it does say shirt removed. There is a scarf, so I can start drawing that out right now. Go ahead, define some lines a little better, so I know what so I know what I'm going into. The legs look like they kind of fade like a gradient. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. We do have the prosthetic paw. Add some fur. I'm going to do what I normally do for a prosthetic paw. It's funny, I actually had a character I drew with the prosthetic paw once, and the guy went crazy with it. or crazy for it. I'm guessing that's why another person with prosthetic paw is asking me to draw their OC, but I don't know. Could just be unironically the fact they're one of my friends, but this is the first OC I've drawn that isn't mine that has a prosthetic paw. We got a little rough sketch down. I think we can start going down to a little bit more detail. There is a bag I'm forgetting, of course. I don't know how to add a sling backpack to a four-legged animal. I've drawn dresses for four-legged creatures. I'll figure it out. Let's see. I'll make this pop up slightly to make it look like it's not part of the body. Give it a little bit of a texture. The way a sling backpack kind of goes on is across your chest. So it would come out. Yeah, I basically had it right the first time. Of a triangle shape here. We're gonna go back and look at the sling bag references. So yeah, sling bags are typically a triangular shape. Some of them rectangular. I'm gonna do a very simple one. I'm not gonna sit here and try to be a fashion designer. Anything else about a sling bag I should know about? There's some really like complicated sling bags. Like some of these look like they belong. Like I don't know how a military bag sling bag would work. That doesn't look like it would be comfortable. But I'm kind of looking at it. I can see why it's called a sling bag. You can just kind of sling it over yourself and then clip it. They're usually typically really small, but there's a lot of them here that are actually quite decently sized. But I'm going to do a little one because it doesn't specify or have a reference page on the term sling bag, so I'm just going to draw whatever. At least there's going to be a pocket for the vest, but the way the pose I have, I'm not going to be able to add the alcohol container, which is the hip flask. You know, don't get me wrong, just because it's called a hip flask doesn't mean it needs to have alcohol in it, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to have alcohol in it. And I know this character is really into rum, so I think I'm pretty confident to say it's rum. Now, on the reference for the Leafeon, I don't know if he drew this or this is a commission he got, but there's no like leg leaves or head leaves or anything like that. And Leafeon only has a chest leaf, but also has 2 leaves on every leg and a leaf on the back of its neck. so I do not know if I should be adding those in. The reference doesn't have them, so I'm not going to draw them. They can let me know for next time if I decide to draw the character again if they were supposed to be head leaves. I'm going to look up one more reference for a few more references for Leafeon so I can actually draw a tail that looks decently natural, because the tail I drew looks like it's just oof. So we're actually going to erase this tail real quick and we're going to try again. I could just take from the basic shapes of the idle Leafeon, which is kind of like this, and more or less. This comes out, curves over, and then it breaks and bends up to the left, up again and to the right. And then it's 1, 2, 3, and it cups in really hard with a break in it. And then there's a few more breaks in it right here. Control Z, hello. And then there's more or less of a mix match. Kind of leaf detail in here. We'll put one more here for good luck. That looks decent for now. Now that we got some more basic of a frame down, we can now add a new layer. Give this just a little bit of opacity, not too much. Change this so now it's a color that's not orange or tan. I'm going to make the brush just a little bigger now as we come in here and do some of the finer details. But it's still going to be a very rough sketch of the character. The head isn't easy either. Got the cheek fur. Of course, in this case, it goes all the way up to the ear, which I have full back. I typically draw Eevees with drawn back ears, or kind of like more like folded ears rather than the triangle, the two diamonds inside of each other. Gives it a little bit more of a little more depth than just okay, now erase this area and this area. Ahead and add this fluff overlaying, or I can add some fluff like right here overlaying instead. Wait, you can see some of it, because it does say more fluffy than a normal Leafeon. I don't know how fluffy a normal Leafeon is. I don't normally draw them, so I'm just going to do what I normally do for any short-haired animal. Add a little bit of spots where fluff is overlaying. Find the notch and then kind of start making the nose and the mouth. And some eyes. Nothing around the eyes, I assume. Yeah, they're just blue / indigo eyes, so there's nothing like crazy going on up over there. There's a chip in the head leaf. I just realized that. I'm going to put it right here. And then we're going to go ahead and continue down the path a little bit. I'm going to start with the vest, because the scarf doesn't overlay the vest, so it'll give me a reference line. Go ahead and draw the bag next. This again is a shape I'm not super familiar with, so it's going to take me a few times to draw. Some strips going on over here. This comes down like so. Hip flask. Add a little fur here. Add a little fur here as we go down the leg to the prosthetics. I'm gonna stop there. We're going to do the sleeve and then finish off the leg line over here, and do my best attempt at a scarf. I haven't been necessarily the best at drawing scarves. I'm going to draw the fur last. I know there's a specific type of like pattern you're supposed to draw when drawing scarves and make it really look like a scarf, but I tend to just kind of eyeball it and do random lines. None of my scarves actually follow any kind of sort of pattern. Somebody actually asked me, I was like, how do you draw scarves so well? And I was like, dude, I'll be honest, I'm not even drawing a scarf. I'm just drawing lines, random lines. I just kind of think of the general shape of a scarf, and then I just kind of draw that instead of actually stressing myself out about what a scarf looks like. Let me see if I can't find that reference or that image I drew for that one prosthetic leg. Or it was just the paw. I drew a character back in 2021. And the character was a random request. It literally was no one's OC. It was actually a species that I was running for a little while. And somebody had asked me to draw this OC with a scarf and a prosthetic leg, and that was all they gave me. So I put the leg all the way up to the ankle, or up to the kneecap, or where the elbow typically would be, and then from there I drew this kind of mechanical arm. And I also drew the scarf with burns in it because it was kind of like a lava-based fox. So instead of just drawing a normal scarf on it, I actually drew a few scolds in the scarf itself. I'm going to draw the same kind of model that I have on this guy. There's pistons on the side of this because it's supposed to have kind of a steampunk vibe, but I'm not going to add pistons to this because it's supposed to only be the paw here. So I'm actually going to move this right here. Give it a little more life. We can make it just barely come off the paw, like so. And then we can go ahead and add that paw down. And we got kind of the front end of the character done, which is good. We come around and we add some of these more natural curves to the character. And it's funny, despite being really decently good at drawing, I got into story building recently, and I have a world, like a D&D world basically, and I wanted to draw some of the characters, and I realized how crap I am at drawing when it really comes down to other things that isn't a feral based creature. We'll try to line the paws up here, that way it doesn't look like the back paw is coming down farther than the front paws. I'm trying to kind of line it up with this paw over here too, so that way it all looks fairly decent. And because it's the back paw, I'm going to remove all this overline so it looks like it's facing that direction. Of course, I'm going to have to extend this just a little bit, but not a huge concern at the moment. Nothing special on the end of the scarf, it's just capped at the end, so I'm just going to do that. Once again, it's a white star, but I'm just going to fill it in so I know it's just going to be a stamp star rather than a special shape star. Next we're going to move over to the tail, and we're going to try my best to... Now, of course, this is a reference I used from the base model that you can find in the Pokedex for the tail, because I've never drew tails before. Well, I mean, I've never drew Leafeons before until now. I've had Leafeon friends before, but they typically don't ask for it very much, like art-wise. But this friend also can't find anyone to draw his OC, so he asked me, and I was like, sure. I mean, he's a fun guy. He's currently in college, and he not necessarily, college isn't necessarily the friendliest to him. I'm in college too, but it's not as bad. Poor guy always seems like he's in a grumpy mood, but I don't blame him. Sometimes school can be really stressful. Which I can get. I'm gonna add some more minor details here. I'm gonna go ahead and add the zipper line, because I'm assuming it's a zipper jacket. I'm looking at it right now, and it barely I can see the chest of the shirt. So I'm assuming it does indeed either button up or zip up. And I'm gonna go with the zip up approach, because it has a slide bag, and I don't think button up will look good with a slide on bag. I know I just talked about how I've never seen slide bags before, but like the slide bags seem more modern than anything, and zippers seem more modern than button-ups, so I'm going to do a zip-up jacket, a split-off jacket. I'm going to add a zipper here as well, give it a little bit more of that immersion that I want. A little bit of attention to detail, I guess. The only thing here that needs work is that paw that I was talking about. I'm going to go fix that real quick. we can add another layer. Just do this for now. Do kind of like this. Call come out, and then go to eraser and just kind of erase this. And that way we can do like that. Give it a little bit more of a natural feel. Yeah, it's alright. This leg right here looks like it's more doing this, and this leg right here is doing this. So that is something I need to keep in mind. Flipping the page can also help you figure out what's wrong with it. The face is a little off, but not too much for me to really go crazy over. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to fix these leg lines to match the other leg lines. That way it can give more of a natural or a more balanced feel. But I think that's it for the character. I'm not reading anything else on here that says it's anything too different. There is a badge along the stripe of the bag. I don't know what kind of badge there is. It's part of the, I'm guessing it's a PK badge. Hi. I'm assuming it's going to be a Pokemon Rescue Team badge. Also, hi Eclipse. Yes, it is. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat. I'm trying to look. I have like 4 monitors open right now, but all of them have references. So a rescue badge is an egg with wings. So I'm gonna draw that on the hip of here. Because it doesn't specify or give any reference to what the badge looks like. Or doesn't even try to explain the badge at all, so I'm just going to draw that right there. And that's kind of what he explained in the reference, was a shirt's been removed, which I removed. He's not wearing a shirt in here, and the shirt was a gray shirt before, by the looks of it. The weird part about the reference he also sent me is the shirt doesn't cover the chest, it only covers the arms, which is weird. But he does remove the chest, he keeps the scarf, keeps the colors. Longer fur than average. I didn't know how to make that look like he has longer fur. I guess you can add some fur on the back ends of the legs. No Slime Rancher today. I'm going to do Slime Rancher. I just felt like drawing. I literally just woke up, and I didn't want to jump right into a game. So I'm just doing something to wake up a little bit. And I know I told Lance a few times I was going to draw his OC, so I was like, you know what? I think I can do this morning. So that's what I'm doing this morning, is just drawing Lance's OC. Add some fur to the back of these ankles with his kneecaps. I don't even know what to call these. I think these are technically the ankle. And this is the kneecap. This is the knee, this is the ankle. But I could be wrong. We can add some butt fluff as well, because why no butt fluff, you know? Like, why not add butt fluff? There's no reason why not. You should not add butt fluff. Of course, you probably should add it a little better than that, but maybe passing the butt fluff. Butt fluff is interestingly difficult to draw on a lot of characters. He's got a lot of neck fluff, and he's got a lot of face fluff. He's got a little fluff on the back of the ankles. I think we're good here. I think we're good to move on to the next step, which is going to be the final line art. The character is mostly tan and green, so what I might do is a dark tan for the outline reference. So we're going to go ahead and go to a green-yellow, but we're going to go all the way down here to a dark green. Since there's not a lot of dark colors on this character, I don't have to go all the way closer to black. I can actually give it a little bit of color. They're not really easy to notice at the final product either because I tend to add a lot of shading layers. But I was surprised on how much just adding a colored line art does to a drawing as far as giving it a little bit of depth. Probably should only draw this line right here so that way it's like that. When it comes down to this phase of the drawing, I find myself redrawing the lines a lot to hopefully get that line that I want. And again, a habit that I don't have that I should probably have is flipping the piece every now and then to see if anything is off. The only reason I don't do that is because a lot of the things I do are requests. So they're like people ask me to do it, not necessarily offering anything in return. I started asking people to show up to streams. Not a lot of them do, but I still appreciate the ones that do. I mean, I appreciate the ones I draw for as well. I'm not drawing for them because I don't appreciate them. I appreciate my community. They're really good to me. Yes, in fact, the screen you're looking at right now is a drawing tablet screen. This screen is actually my drawing tablet. I have 2 monitors set up in my drawing tablet, and I also have a dashboard that I have yet to set up that has a little screen on it as well for chat, but I have to physically set it up. And another problem with the dashboard is it's used and it's old, so it might not work at all. Especially with the newer version of Windows. We're on like Windows 12 now. I'm not going to add a ring on the end of this strap. I'm just going to add the strap down and move on. Let's add the actual bag strap next. Now, of course, I'm going to have to give a little bit of time between streams. When I stream this, I stream Slime Rancher, because I do need to still post part 3 on YouTube, which I forgot to do last night. I was literally laying in bed, and I was about to fall asleep, and then I slightly woke back up, and I was like, oh shit, wait. I was like, I was getting off my computer feeling like I was forgetting something, but I kind of just shrugged it off, and then after I laid down, I was like, oh wait, I remember what I forgot now. Alright, I'll see you around. shoot, I messed something up. My screens are all over the place. There we go. We got some of the front end done. We got the other ear to still do. So let's do that. That was easy. Next we got the end of the scarf, which is going to lay limp like this. And we're going to make it slightly off center, slightly off curves, because okay, so I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to come back to the star, because I have to draw a certain way in order for it to look like a star. Hello, Core. Good morning. How are you doing? Sorry if I seem a little tired. Yeah, I literally was about to say that. So sorry if I sound a little tired. I just woke up. Dan was asking why I wasn't playing Slime Rancher, and I said simply because I just woke up, and rather than going straight to a video game, I was going to go ahead and do a little bit of art. And since Lance was asking for some art, and I did some art for a friend already recently, push came to shove, I decided, you know what, I did Lance that headshot earlier, but I really didn't like it, and I did tell him that I was going to go ahead and do a full body, and so that's what I'm doing today, is a full body shot for Lance. So that is the thing I am finishing up now. I'm almost done. Funny enough, you joined right at the final stages of the creation, but that's okay. And of course, after this, I'm going to do a 1-hour Slime Rancher stream. And I was going to do a Skyrim stream today, but I'm going to have a lot of stuff I need to do outside of my my house. So I might have to either do a late stream or just not do a stream at all today. I had to skip my Cyberpunk stream because it crashed on me and it literally wouldn't relaunch. So it makes me feel kind of bad that I have to skip another stream. A scheduled stream, because it is a scheduled stream, right? It's like, if anyone was actually looking forward to it, then I apologize, but today is Skyrim day. But there's a chance I might not do any Skyrim today. It's unfortunate, sometimes you have to skip streams. I'm going to have to remove Cyberpunk off the stream list and probably replace it with, I don't even know what to replace it with. I have to figure out something to replace it with. I was going to say Slime Rancher, but I kind of would like to play Slime Rancher whenever I want. Because again, I've played Slime Rancher for 3 days in a row now. It's about to be 4. Crashing. It just won't launch. It crashed on me after I opened my inventory. I opened my inventory and put on a quest item, and now it won't launch. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, it's Cyberpunk, kind of expected. I started playing the game in hopes that a lot of the bugs and glitches were fixed, but apparently that was a very common bug, the one I ran into, and it requires a bunch of like file manipulation in order to fix, and I'm not in the mood to do that. The game isn't like a top tier favorite of mine, so it's not like I'm going to go simp over the game and fix it. If it broke, it broke. Oh well. I didn't buy the game, I got it for a birthday at one point, which does mean someone still did pay the whole $60 for it, but it wasn't me, so I'm not going to cry over the fact that I wasn't able to play it. Well, like, normally I wouldn't mind file manipulation because I do that for mods and servers that I run on the like Minecraft servers you guys see me run. That requires a lot of file manipulation in order to get work properly. But the only reason why I stopped doing it, why I won't do it for Cyberpunk in particular, is because when you launch Cyberpunk through Steam, it launches another launcher, which means now I have to go through two launcher files. It's a pain in the butt. Not something I'm in the mood for right now. And I think Dan was the only one who showed it to my Cyberpunk streams anyways, so I don't think anyone's missing out. It was kind of sad to me because it was a AAA game that made the Cyberpunk game, and I was a little excited because I really liked the idea of a cyberpunk aesthetic. But the problem was when it really came down to it, it ended up being so bad when it comes down to the whole fact it's a AAA game, but then it ended up performing worse than a lot of the indie games that come out nowadays. I was a little more or less just disappointed in the entirety of the game, so I never really actually launched the game because after hearing so much crap about the game, I never relaunched it again, and I don't not regret playing the game. Like, apparently the game was at best 3 out of 5, and I was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, it wasn't the greatest game in the world. There was some really heart-touching moments throughout throughout the game, which, I mean, cool. Like, I'm not going to tell you that the game was bad, but I'm not going to tell you the game was good either. You can literally go watch some of my stream recaps for Cyberpunk, and you can see the amount of bugs that are still in the game. And I'm guessing they just decided to leave it alone because these bugs have been part of the game since its launch, and it's been almost a year. And I'd expect these bugs to have been fixed already, but boy, was I proven wrong. Now, it also doesn't say what color this side bag is, so I'm just going to go with a darker gray, like a really dark gray-brown for the vest, because the reference sheet that was sent to me, like, I'm not going to lie, not the toppest quality, but, you know, I'm not going to give it too much crap either, because it wasn't like it was... I mean, there was still stuff there. They did explain it the best they could, so I'm not going to give them too much crap. But, like, some of the explanations are so blank that it leaves room for experimentation. And the only problem I have with that is a lot of the times when I send the person their stuff, and I did exactly what they said, and I decided to do a little bit of experimentation on the side, there was apparently like 90 things I forgot and 90 things that shouldn't be there, and I was like, next time how about you explain exactly what you want, don't just say scarf. Like, one of the reference sheets here just says slide-on bag or a sling bag. Okay, there's like 9 million different designs for a sling bag. What kind of sling bag do you want, you know? But, you know, and then I'm the bad guy when I get it wrong. I decided to go for the most basic. I decided to go with the most basic version of this character, or with the most basic version of the sling bag, specifically because I mean, it's the hardest to get wrong. It literally says, oh, okay, there's fur lining around the collar, I'm not going to add any fur lining around the collar, but I am going to add some fur lining around the base because I can still fix that. I can still add that. Oh, that's what that is. That weird color that I see around the shoulders is fur lining, apparently. He has everything labeled like a like a cell label sheet, but the only thing that has anything labeled is that little weird color that he has on the shirt. So there's fur lining around the bottom of the vest and the collar of the vest, not just the sleeves. Oh, okay, so with the bottom of the vest, I already added zippers, so I'm not going to go back and remove the zippers, because again, it doesn't specify what type of jacket it is, it just says jacket. I have button up, the jacket I'm wearing right now is probably my favorite jacket, and I've been wearing it for a while. I bought it with my own money, and I really enjoy it, but it's a button up and a zip up. The button up is for style, the zip up is for quality, because, you know, zip ups are by default always better than, just typically going to be better than button ups, because you're going to be able to air seal the heat inside of you with a zip better than a button up. I'll add fur around the sleeves and around the back side of the, like this, but that's it. I'm not going to go crazy ham for it. I'm going to give it a tan. That's the same color of the fur that's around my jacket. Yeah, it's a written description. I don't know if I want to show it right now, but it's a few sentences long. It says, number 1, shirt has been removed. Number 2, the fur lining is now at the bottom of the vest, at the collar of the vest, but not just the sleeves of the vest. So I'm assuming that means it was already on the sleeves of the vest. Rescue equipment has been added. A sling backpack. That's literally all it says, is a sling backpack, and then a rescue badge on the strap of that backpack. A prosthetic paw cutoff has been slightly raised, and he does have a little line to indicate where the raise is on his little reference. And then a hip flask on the waistline of the vest, which I did add. If you can see it, I haven't colored it yet though. And then it says details that have been kept. Lance has longer fur than average Leafeons. The color scheme, the scarf, and the fur-lined vest. But that is it. I'm literally wearing a fur-lined vest right now, and it is a zip-up. So if he says something about fur-lined vests are not zip-up, I will take him a screenshot, or I'll take him a selfie and show him my fur-lined vest is indeed a zip-up. So if he has a problem with zip-up fur lines, then I'm sorry, buddy. Should have specified whether it was a button up or a button or a because I've been down the road with my requests before, and I'll be honest with you, I stopped caring about people who get mad at the artwork because something was wrong about it because they forgot to mention something. And there's so many different times where people were like, it's like I spent a solid hour and a half on it, and then they sit there and they give me like a paragraph list worth of things I forgot or missed or got wrong, and I stopped caring. Like, after a while of people giving people free stuff and then only for them to complain, it just stopped. I still give out free stuff, but if I fucked it up, too bad, buddy. It was free. Like, I don't care. Just be happy I drew you something. Like, my God. I have other people that simp over my art, and you're over here complaining that you got art from me? It just confuses me sometimes, and I don't know why people get like that when they ask for art from me, because Like, I had one guy that showed up out of nowhere. I don't know whose friend he was, but he was someone's friend. And they showed up in my DMs and they talked to me about how much of a fan they were of my art. So I was curious. I drew the guy a gift. I was like, here you go. Thank you for your kind words. But I literally purposely drew it terribly. Like, I literally missed, like, the proportions were off. Everything didn't look right. I did it on purpose. Like, right. And when I gave it to them, the guy was grateful as hell. And I was like, wow, okay, this is a fan. But other people are not so fortunate. Oh, Project Fairy. Oh. Did Alb finally join the stream after being requested to join so many times before? I've been here before you joined. I've been here since you were sketching. You never said anything. How was I supposed to know? The Steam doesn't let me look at, the Steam doesn't let me look at the, or Twitch doesn't let me look at the name of my current viewers. You have to chat in order for me to know that you're here viewing. My apologies. But even then, hello. That's fine. I mean, doing homework is a mood. I probably should be doing homework right now, but I'd much rather draw and play games. I actually need to recenter this head leaf. It looks a little off-center. You not using fill tools pains my soul. If it's not a big area, I don't use the fill tool. Like, but the only problem is with SAI as well. The fill tool gets really buggy sometimes, so it's not like it's not very reliable. I do use fill tool. In fact, the thing I use fill tool the most on is the shading layers, because if you I'm about to do a shading layer here in a second, and you'll see why I use a paint bucket for the shading layer. The inside of the ears are also brown. What the heck? There's a lot of brown on this character. I should probably make the legs a lighter brown than what they are, if I'm being honest, so it doesn't blend into the jacket. So I'm going to do this, but then I'm going to make this a lighter brown. And I'm going to go up just slightly like this. And then of course I am still going to grab a darker brown like this one right here, so I can do the paws like this. That way we get more of a defined look right here. Never used SAI, so I'll take your word for it. I tried to download a pirate version of it, and I shouldn't be saying that on stream, but you know, whatever. I tried downloading a pirated version of SAI, but looks like the creators finally went around and found a lot of them, and just decommissioned them. The only way I'm going to be able to get a truly pirated version of it on this computer is if I go onto my computer, my laptop, which is what I usually do my art on, and I just copy all the files from there and just paste it over to my other computer. Let's do the eyes, and then we'll move over to the shading layers. I'm not a typical fan of the thick lines, because I only did it because, again, I'm tired, and I like literally just the weight of my hand, the sensitivity on the pressure on my tablet is really high, so just the weight of my hand will put it on max size. So everything is a thick line now, which I mean isn't terrible. Like, some people like thick line art. I'm using a drawing tablet, yes. And it has its own screen, it has its own monitor and everything. It was like $3,000 when it, well, because I got it on release. Like it came out and I bought it because I was like, you know what, fuck it, I need a good laptop. We're gonna make this a brighter, more natural color because it's like a neon in the reference. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the biggest fan of neon colored anything. The only case scenario is like neon green eyes. That would be about the only thing I draw that's neon. I'm not. Where am I? What? I'm not drawing beans. The fuck? I'm drawing a bean, yes, but not like any physical bean. Not yet, at least. I don't have any plans for any beans. I think that's it. I want to say there's more to this character, but I kind of already screwed some stuff up. But what art piece have I drawn where I don't accidentally screw a little bit of stuff up? I don't think I've drawn a perfect image in a while, which doesn't have some kind of imperfection about it. I can obviously be pointed out. Like, the line art on here could have been done a little better. Or I could just make beans. I'm not going to do it this morning, though, because, again, I don't want to art myself out to a point where I don't want to draw anymore. So I'm just going to draw this, and I'm going to go eat breakfast, and then I'm going to come back on, and I'm going to do a small stream for Slime Rancher. And then I'm probably going to go join my friends in some League of Legends or something. Oh, you know what? That's another thing I forgot. I don't think I did a single stream this year, or this week that I was supposed to do, because on Friday I was supposed to do a League of Legends Hero of the Storm stream, and I didn't do that one either. In fact, though, the main reason I didn't do that one was because the person I collab with on that day, which you guys know him as the Second Cloud, he never showed up, so I decided not to stream that day. This year, unironically, is the only year I've actually put any effort into streaming, and I really do enjoy it. But the only problem is getting my name out there is a little difficult, and especially even though I give free art out to people and I ask them to show up, a lot of people don't show up. Even though they say they will, they don't. So I'm kind of stuck in this loop of giving out free art and asking people to just show up to the stream, and then watching them not show up to the stream, and then doing it again because I don't learn from my lessons. But then again, it's the only really good method I have right now in getting people into the stream is just using my art as kind of like an advertisement to try to get people into the stream. Unfortunately, when it comes down to the Slime Rancher 2 multiplayer mod, it's probably going to be just as buggy as the original. Unfortunately, the only way I could think of being able to add an efficient type of multiplayer to Slime Rancher 2 is you literally would have to recode the game, because Slime Rancher isn't coded for a multiplayer game. It isn't coded for player-to-player interaction. The way the rendering works in the game is it renders per area that you're in. So for every area that you find your... Okay, why is that doing that? For every area that you're in, it renders that area in particular. So if you're at your base, it renders the base. If you're over there at the Ember Meadows, it renders Ember Meadows instead of your base, you know? So if you have 2 players and it's trying to render 2 zones, well, it's going to try to render 2 zones that are client. But the problem with this is it renders the zone twice, like this. And what ends up happening is all the production is doubled. So your chickens will reproduce twice as fast. Your vegetables will grow twice as fast. And that sounds good on paper until you realize every single time you turn the corner, there's more and more fruit, and the game crashes because there's so much limp fruit laying all over the place that... Awesome. Thank you, Midnight. Is that grape? It says Midnight Loki, but I'm assuming that's grape. Well, I'm just saying that's just an example. Like, I'm not telling you that's what's gonna happen. I'm just saying that's an example of why multiplayer would be difficult to code in without recoding everything. Because the problem with especially in the new game, because I don't know if you've noticed, if you've seen me play the new game at all, which I'm sure you have, probably. What is it called? Replays on my Twitch if you want to watch, and on my YouTube if you want to watch some of those, but they doubled the growth of chickens and fruit. They doubled it. Like, literally, the chickens, you can, if you throw in enough roosters and chickens into a pen of meat-eating slimes, they will reproduce faster than the slimes can eat them. So, that's the thing. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know the game was out either. I mean, I knew the game was coming out near my birthday, but I kind of forgot about it. And someone got it from Dan. Had got it for me right on my right when it came out, and I've been playing it since. Like I haven't missed a stream day yet, but I don't plan to yet either. But that's also because I kind of want to just play it. I've already almost beat the game, by the way. Like the base game, I've already almost done. I only have to find one more slime. And then I have to do a little bit of maxing on the few last of my upgrades, and I'm done with the game until the next update. My only concern is I hope to fucking God that the stuff that doesn't come out isn't paid DLC. I really don't hope the stuff they come out with is paid DLC, because if they're not going to add co-op, then at least make a full price game free throughout the entirety of the expansion. Because they came out with DLC for Slime Rancher 1, but they were more or less like skins for your slime DLC. Which I don't mind. They're not adding anything to the game. They're just letting you turn your pink slimes into gold slimes, you know? And no, they're not gold plort slimes. They're just gold-looking pink slimes. Which I like that idea. I mean, it makes sense. I always like games that add skins to certain things, like adding skins to your Slime Rancher to let your phosphorus slimes look like magma slimes, or to make your just add some uniqueness to your game. I like that. And the fact it costs money doesn't necessarily concern me as much as making me spend more money than I already have. Now I didn't buy Slime Rancher 2, so I'm in no position to say, oh my god, I don't want to pay for DLC, because I literally didn't even buy the game. But I've been through those stressful moments in time where the game is always like, oh, okay, you want to play the game? Well, here, we came out with a new DLC that helps you go through that cliffhanger we left, but it costs more than the game, so yeah, have fun. But we don't care, so have fun. So that's why I typically started disliking anything. I started disliking anything DLC because they stopped going from being like typical like skin based things that just add very little to the game to just being necessary to play the game. I stopped playing Destiny 2 for that specific reason. I literally bought the first like 4 or 5 DLCs, and they just kept coming out with DLCs that were costing like $30 to $40, and I was like, holy fuck. And the problem is they weren't even good DLCs. Half the DLCs they came out with you could beat in one sitting. Like, the only reason the DLCs were there were for Crucible. That's the only thing they care about anymore. Raids and Crucible, and it's so fucking annoying. If you're saying 60 plus hours, yeah, right. If you're saying 60 plus dollars, I believe that. I haven't played since what? I think the last I played was when they removed the base story from the game. They literally removed the base story from the game. You can no longer play the base storyline in the game anymore. So, that's the thing. Yeah, oh, well, there's a few of them. Not just Red War. Well, paywalls is also another reason why I started really getting into indie games. Like, Slime Rancher 2, for example. I like Slime Rancher, the Slime Rancher in industry because you can play the entire game without paying for it. Stardew Valley is another really good indie game that I got into and played a few hundred hours on. Risk of Rain is a game I've been playing since it came out, and I still play it. Like today, me and Klaus get on the game all the fucking time, and we mod the fuck out of the game, and we play the hell out of it because it's a fun game. Like, you don't have to spend any more money on the game. We spent $20 on the game, and now we get the entirety of the game, and we will always have the entirety of the game. It's not like, oh, Risk of Rain 2 is going to drop a DLC that costs $60+ only to add a character that's actually kind of ass. They came out with a DLC recently, but it was only $5. It was a $5 DLC, and it only added a little bit of content, and it added a handful of content. I was going to say a little bit of content, but now I remember it not only added 2 survivors, but official survivors, but it also added a whole new boss, 2 new maps, a new game mode, and like 13 new items. So like, that was official content. For $5. Like, come on. I went right ahead and put my $5 into that game because I was like, fuck yeah, that is worth $5. You go play games like, World of Warcraft nowadays? Dragonflight's coming out soon. And the base price is $45. Now, I don't blame WoW too much because the DLCs do take a lot of time to make. But the problem I have is the only reason they're able to build those DLCs and come out with more and more expansions is because they're outrageously expensive subscription process. So making me not only spend about $1,000 a year on a subscription, you also are asking me to spend around an extra $60 to $80 on an expansion. Like, yikes. They always talk about how they don't have enough money to do stuff. I'm sitting here like, how? What are you doing with that money? The cheapest is $12 a month, and that's if you get the 1-year subscription, or it's like $9 a month for a whole year. Well, that's why you add subscriptions. I literally said that. I was talking to a friend of mine, right? And I was talking to him about MMOs because he's a big MMO fan, but he's always talking about how much he hates the modern MMOs because they all require transactions in order to play the game. And I sat there and I talked to him. I was like, look, man, I'll be honest with you. There's no possible fucking way you're going to be able to play an MMO without spending some form of cash on it. And there's a reason. And I told him because servers are expensive. You don't just go buy a server and throw it on your computer and expect. I mean, even if you do that, that computer still costs around $4,000, $5,000. And if you plan on having multiple millions of people play your game, you're gonna have more than one computer. And keeping those computers up and running constantly while keeping them in good maintained inside of a room that needs to stay 30 degrees takes a lot of money. Black Desert, I don't think is receiving any more updates either, though. That's the thing. I don't think Black Desert Online is an actively updating game anymore. But I do play it. I do play it. I told my friend that I was gonna plan on making an MMO as well because I really like the idea of a community. I wanted to make an MMO specific to my community by adding, but in your login would basically just be your Discord. And the way it would work is if the Discord picked up that you were in my server, you were allowed to log into the game. You just had to be a part of my community, you know. It was supposed to be a community game, and when you played the game, you would have your Discord name as your username, or you could do just a player username. The player username, which will probably add a little bit more customization if I do a player username. That's a lot of work in coding. I know. I've been working on it though, and I love coding. Like I'm going into school for coding. That is literally what I'm going to college for. The only thing that I'm going to find a lot of problem with is the art. All of the 3D models I'm gonna have to make, and all like just the art in general. Like I do art for fun. I do art because I enjoy it. I do art because it is just a really fun thing to get into. But if I made a big game like that by myself, it would just eventually turn art into more of a stress than an enjoyment. And that's my only fear when going into this this project. I already have some player models and I already have a working server, but I haven't really gone past that. Modeling and drawing are the same thing to me, because in order to model efficiently, you need to draw a reference. And even then, you still need the creativity of an artist to model this stuff, you know? It's just a different form of art, you know? It's still art. It's still under the art category. I try to look at the good and bads, but I try to turn the bads into goods, you know? When I really look at art or coding in particular, because I had a conversation with my dad, right? My dad said, I told my dad that I'm going to college for video game programming. So I'm going in there for everything. I'm learning how to do the concept art, I'm learning how to do the code, I'm learning how to make my own program. I'm learning how to run servers, I'm learning how to make mini websites, launchers, all that stuff for clients, whatever. I'm learning how to do the whole process so I can actually go into college a second time for specifically the thing I want to do. And I went home and I told my dad, and I was talking to my dad, and he was like, and when I told my dad I was going to go to college for this, he said, go into college for robotic engineering or robotic coding. Those guys make a lot of money, and they're probably going to be more successful for you because not a lot of kids are talking about it. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, computer programming or game design is something that everyone wants to do. And I took a deep breath and I thought about it, and I was like, you're right, everyone does want to be a computer programmer, but you know the problem? No one has the drive to be a computer programmer. Like, no matter how I've been in computer programming servers on Discord, and I've talked to some of my classmates, and you'll be surprised how many people who talk about how they want to be a coder, but the moment they pick up coding, they realize how boring and lame it is, or how significantly more difficult they thought it would be, and they give it up. Like, they give it up almost immediately. The thing I like about coding is I try to turn the bads into goods. The bads are the challenges. The challenges that come down to coding are very simple things like syntax errors, the long grind of sitting there typing for 5 hours a day. Those all have pluses, right? To me, watching my creations walk across the screen, watching my creations be able to interact with the world that I created is
mind-blowing to me. I love that. It's so much fun. I grew up, now this could just be an age difference, but I grew up when gaming was just now becoming a thing, right? It was like Mario 64 came out when I was a kid, and that game was like revolutionary, right? But nowadays you play that game because it's nostalgic, but it's also a funny joke. You can play that game and realize how many bugs were actually in the game, right? I like the first time I made a game was in my coding camp. I went to a coding camp, right? I went to a coding camp and I made a game, a text-based RPG game. And it took me 4 to 5 days to code this text-venture RPG game. But when I finally got it finished, my God, did it feel amazing that I got it finished. Because I sat there and I could play that game for hours. Like, it was surprisingly a fun game that I made. And I loved it. I loved it because I made it. And I loved it because it was, like, it was genuine, you know? There was no graphics. It was just text. Every time you text something, it would text you back. Basically, the very base foundations of an RPG game. But I loved it. It was a great game. It was awesome. I had a great time. And all the while, a youngin. Yeah, I was 13 at the time. I could be called a youngin. But nowadays it's a little different, right? Now I go to school. Now I have sometimes in some cases I have a job. I'll even have some freelancing stuff I need to take care of, or maybe even some commissions, which I haven't done in a hot minute, and I might reopen soon. If you guys absolutely have to spend money on me. I'm going to be opening up bits soon, but the only problem is in order for me to open up bits for Steam or for Twitch, is I have to finish the Twitch protocols. In order to finish Twitch protocols, I need 5 people to Twitch and chat, which I've done already. I need 50 followers, which I am way off of. I only have like, what, 12 right now? And I need an average viewer of 4 or 5 or something like that, which means my average viewer is like 1.1 right now. So my average is like almost less than 0. So that's a little upsetting. Or almost less than 1. No one really wants to do it. That's the thing. And that's partly what I feel. I'm doing it because I found an interest in developing on the side of Sonic community. I love seeing projects and designs. And without finding exciting issues, I don't really want to put in the effort unless I really environment my house just because of the place. I spend fucking hell, I'm reading. Can you not? I spent most of my time just sleeping. Or I'm just doing work-related stuff for money. I just don't spend my free time in my house doing anything because I feel lazy in my own environment. I get that. I honestly get that. My bed is literally right across from my desk. Like, literally right across from my desk. Right there. I can touch my bed almost. And you know what? I can turn around in my chair, do a 180, and guess what I see? My kitchen. And I do a little bit more. I do a little bit of turn out. I do like 27 degrees to the right or to the left. Or I think it's to the right. Boom, bathroom door. And then I do the last 100 degrees, and boom, my computer. Literally, I can see my entire house from where I'm sitting. I literally cannot do anything but be lazy. And I don't mind it. I like a small itty-bitty house like this because I don't go anywhere. If I want to go do something or I want to enjoy myself, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to a casino. I'm going to go to a restaurant. I'm going to go to an arcade. I'm going to go somewhere, you know? I'm not going to sit around my house. My house is my lazy cabin, okay? I'm going to be a slob in this building, okay? My house, the only thing dirty about my house right now is the unbelievable amount of clothes that are on the floor right now. But that's also because I need to go do laundry soon. But other than that, my house is fine. I'm just lazy. I'm a lazy fucker, you know? I have empty cans of root beer all across my desk right now because I recently got my birthday money, and I've been drinking root beer and soda all day, yesterday, today, and the day before. But other than that, I'm pretty lazy, man. And yes, I do live alone. I live all by myself. I do plan on getting a roommate, but that roommate is a feline. But I need an income before I can get my roommate. Because the only thing I can think of when it comes down to a positive income is a Patreon, but my following isn't high enough in order to get a Patreon, and I haven't been as active as I've been recently because I haven't had the time to actually be a lot of active. No, the feline isn't living rent free. I'm just taking care of his rent. You know, I take care of the cat's rent. You know, because I'm a nice guy, right? Cattons are adorable. Well, it's funny you say emotional support cat. That is literally the reason. Like, living by yourself for so long gets a little agitating. Because you don't have anyone to really talk to. Now, internet made it different, you know. I can talk to you guys all day, every day, and I enjoy the fuck out of it. But I still need to, you know, have someone walking around the house causing problems, you know, messing with my shit, making messes that I have to clean up, you know? I mean, I don't want a kid, fuck that shit, but a cat sounds awesome right now. A dog isn't going to like my tiny house, so I'm not going to get a dog. I want a husky. I want to grow up with a husky, because huskies are awesome. I had to babysit a husky for a month, and that thing was absolutely adorable. He was the most communicative little fucker in the world, but he was absolutely adorable. Every single time I left him alone, he'd walk up to my computer desk where I was doing my schoolwork, and he just nudge the chair, try to turn me around. And if I didn't turn around, he'd start yipping at me, like very small, like what do you want, dog? I let him outside, close the door, and on my way over back to my desk, I hear him scratching the door. I'm like, what? Pat the dog. Yeah, that's pretty much probably what he wanted. He just wanted pats. I don't care. I literally live with Pekingese. Have you ever seen a Pekingese? Have you ever lived with a Pekingese? Those motherfuckers shed way too much. Imagine it's a small dog, right? Small dog. Small, fluffy dog. Congratulations. You just let a living fur bomb into your house. Nowhere is safe. If you have a job that says you cannot come into work with fur on your clothing or on your on your uniform, you cannot own a Pekingese, because those motherfuckers will literally shed a whole dog every day. And they're a small dog, which is surprising. I feel like interactions with not online just really doesn't hit the same as interactions with real life. You can't really hug or cuddle anything, you know, or like you just see the expressions of people's in the eyes and you can't really feel them out. Going out to places to see experience is not really the same. The closest you get is VR, and unfortunately VR even limits all of that too, because you still don't have that face-to-face interaction. I go out a lot. The only person that lives around me right now that I actively go out with is Klaus. We hang out a lot. We go to arcades. We go to restaurants. I can't bring him to casinos when I decide I want to gamble, but we could still always hang out. And I also have Lance that I'm gonna start hanging out with soon, because I just found out that he lives right north of New Orleans, which I literally live an hour away from New Orleans, so I didn't realize how close Lance lived to me, so I might give him a few visits every now and then. I might be visiting my uncle over in Arizona too, so I might give Porter a visit as well, but I don't know yet. I don't know how close he is to the capital of Florida. In Florida? No, Arizona. God damn it. Goodbye to your lazy time to get a husky. I don't care. I'm not gonna get a husky because I'm lazy. I'm gonna get a husky because I'm actually secretly an really energetic human being, and sitting down in one spot is fucking impossible. There's a reason why I failed all my classes in fucking school, because I'd much rather have drawn than do my schoolwork, you know? I want a husky because huskies specifically are the most energetic dog. Like, I literally just want an energetic dog. And huskies are just happen to be a super communicative, energetic dog. And that fits my profile, you know? I don't care about the shedding. I've lived with dogs and animals that have been that literally cover the house in an inch thick of fur all my life. You get used to it. I wear a cotton ball of a dog, and now I can't wear black clothes. That's what happens when you own a white dog. That's what happens when you own a white dog. That's just how it works. It's the complete opposite if you own a black dog. I own a my dad has a Rottweiler. We call her LMA or Bubba, and she good luck wearing anything white. Good luck wearing anything white, anything light colored. Good luck wearing any light blue shirts. Good luck wearing any white shirts because those shits will be covered in at least an inch thick of nothing but short black hairs. I know one person. Klaus is the only person in the neighborhood that I can go to and hang out with. And even then, he's got college right now, so it's not like I can do it every day. And I need money to go out, you know, and I don't even make money anymore because I had to quit my job. So I was hoping streaming would be a good way to go ahead and pick that up. And now you need money. Nah, I don't need it. I live rent free, and I live I live pretty comfortably. Like, I wouldn't say anything I do or anything that happens around me is necessarily uncomfortable. And my mom always is willing to go get me food, so I'm pretty much good to go. If I want to own a Maine Coon, I'm going to need money or income again. But the problem is with the way school works, I can't really have a job because my mentality almost broke when I had my job over there at the casino because I was working 70 hours a week and I never got any time to myself. And the times I did get to myself was only like a day and a half, and it was really fucking annoying. And I never had enough time to actually do the things I want to do and the things I love. And so it really made me want to, like, really made me depressed. So I quit my job so I could actually spend time with myself. And that's the second job that's happened that in a row, so I'm trying my best to find reasons why not to go to work so I can try to get a job that I want, you know. Yeah, they made me, it was a part-time job too. It was a part-time job. They were making me work 70 hours. They would not raise me because I was a part-time. They wouldn't give me a full-time position. Welcome to international companies who don't give a shit about their employees. Yeah, they just call it overtime. You get paid extra if you work over 40 hours. No, not to the companies. It doesn't matter. They can work you as much as they fucking want. There's no limit to how many hours they have to give you a week. And if you don't want to work those hours, they can fire you. And you can't sue them for firing you for not working those hours. That's just the American dream. Businesses, it's my fault for going to work for a multi-billion-dollar company, multi-trillion-dollar company. That's my fault, right? That was my bad. If I want to get a job that appreciates me, I'm gonna have to go get like a local job, like go work at Tato Nut, which is my donut shop. No, there's not. If you look it up, there's no law on how many hours. The only thing there is a law for is if you work more than 40 hours, you have to get paid overtime. If you work more than 70 hours, you have to get paid a special type of payment, which is like ×2 payment instead of 1.5 times payment. They basically pay you twice for working there. But that's it. There's nothing that says you cannot work over. Like some guys may have to work above 100 hours, and there's nothing that says you can't do that. They can fire you for not working 100 hours a week. I was 19 years old, and they expected me to do a stocking job 70 hours a week. I told him, I was like, look, man, I can't keep doing this. I literally told him, right? Because as a part-timer and as a kid that's under 21, I told them that there is a policy called the open door policy that says I can talk to my manager and work stuff out without being fired, right? I literally walked up to him and I said, okay, buddy, how about this? No. I literally just finished working at a restaurant, just with drinks instead of food. I'm not doing that shit again. I walked into my manager and I said, I can't do this anymore. I need less hours. I literally signed up for this job because it was part-time. You advertised a part-time position and I'm working more than a full-time job. I either need to be raised up to above minimum wage or I need to you need to drop my hours below 30 hours. And he said, okay, yeah, we'll look into something. We'll fix it, right? No. 3 months later, nothing's changed. And when I told them, I was like, okay, I'm just going to put matters in my own hands. And I told them what days I was going to come in. They wrote me up, and they told me that I was going to lose my job if I did that again. And I was like, okay, in that case, I just quit. Like, I literally have a recorded conversation of you guys telling me that I was going to have to be able to have reduced hours, and you did nothing about it, and you wrote me up and threatened my job when I decided to take my own time off, you know. And I would have sued the company too if my parents didn't work there, like, because you can sue companies for broken promises. Like, if they tell you they're going to do something to help you and they don't do it, you can sue them for it. But the only reason I'm not going to is because both my parents work at that place, and I don't want to make them lose their jobs over me getting a really shitty boss, you know? So I just sucked it up and went home and told my dad I was going to go to college because I'm not doing this shit anymore. I worked at Dollar General before that job, and they did the same shit. In fact, they did it even worse. They asked me if I wanted more hours. I said, no, thank you. Please keep the hours the way they are, because I worked, like, what, 25 hours a week? And I told them, no, please keep my hours the way they are. I would like to have this time off, because it was like spring break or something. And they went behind my back and made me work a 60-hour week for 6 days out of the week. 6 days of my 7 days of spring break, they had me working. And I was like, wow, thanks, awesome. I quit. I'll see you guys never again. Bye. So yeah, companies just do whatever they want, and they expect people to roll over and do what they say. Like, I mean, I'm your employee, and you're my boss. You tell me how to work. You don't tell me how to live my life. You know. You don't go up to someone and ask them, do you want this? And if they say no, give it to them anyways, you know? That's not how that works. Why'd you ask me in the first place then, you know? You know, the interaction could have been completely avoided if they didn't walk up and ask me if I wanted more hours. All they had to do was just increase my hours, and I would have groaned and done it. But instead, they asked me, it was like, I wouldn't say these are anything bad. This is just a life, man. Nothing I regret. Nothing I regret. Flu therapy. The massive bombshell at 2 days was pretty silly. Finished grinding over 500 rings and rolled up to my boss happy and 30 minutes ahead. Dude, it said I was 1/3 of the rings and I needed to do, and I was like, yeah, no, never again. I'm here. Hello, Core. I'm back again, I guess. I know you were. I was employed for like 4 years, and then I decided to stop being employed. But that's also because the jobs I want to do requires me to just be at my house. But anyways, I got Lance done, so I might move the stream over to Slime Rancher here in a second, and I might do Slime Rancher for an hour. I also might end up disappearing for a little bit after the Slime Rancher stream, so because I got to do some outside chores. You should eat. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do that because while I switch over, while I switch over my stream over to Slime Rancher, I'm going to be cooking myself some food while also uploading part 3 of my Slime Rancher to YouTube. I am on my second job. First job's manager was a complete asshole under minimum wage because Chinese places. Sir, hear me out. Right the first day, huh? I am now your TSS. Quit. Oh, quit on the first day. That's quite a first day. I was like, yeah, what? Get a grilled cheese sandwich. I do not have a maker. Ew, no, I'm not spending money on that. I'll just make grilled cheese. Which I can't do because I don't have cheese. I quit because I'm a privileged cloud. Yeah, my drive was also 30 minutes there and back. That's why I spent like an hour and a half on the road. And I was like, dude, listen, I can't keep doing this. And I just told him I was gonna quit. I didn't like quit on the spot like I did with my Dollar General job. I was really pissed off at Dollar General when I quit, so I really give them the harsh treatment. But I respected my my second company. I just told them I put in my 2 weeks, worked the 2 weeks, and then I left. Always remember to put your 2 weeks in, because if you quit on the spot, you can risk getting fired on your file, which every company can review. So that's my only suggestion is just don't just walk out. We have a grilled cheese sandwich maker. It heats up in 2 minutes and cooks however long you want. Just use a microwave for it. I use a skillet. Like, what the hell? Do you guys not know what skillets are anymore? I literally pan fry all my stuff. But then again, I live with out here in the South, where we eat our bait and our bait eats our I know a skillet. Man, there's so much work. Effort. Jeez, man. Imagine putting effort into anything. Ugh. I am a skillet. Core is a skillet. You can literally just take your pan and cook off of the core's backside. He floof. You could floof. Windy floofy. No! I'm not putting Shard in a maid dress. Looks, man, the part of having power... fuck you. The part of having power is not doing what people want. You know? Like, I mean, not necessarily that. Not... The part of having power is by telling people that you're going to be willing to put everyone in a maid dress except for yourself. Trust me, I'm not done with my maid dress rave. It's not done yet. I got a lot of people I'm about to put in maid dresses. If you guys seen any Art of Aberdine, I'm gonna be putting him in a maid dress soon. I'm not putting myself in one. Again, I'm going to explain it again. That beats the purpose of having power over you guys, is by putting myself in a maid dress, you know? What, the Aberdeen maid dress? What if we pay you to do it? Then I'm going to put on the most minimalistic maid dress in the world, so that way it looks like I'm just wearing what's it called, an apron instead of a maid dress. Put a bow on your ear, boom, done, maid dress finished. You cannot hide the natural body of the cloud behind clothing. How dare you consider putting clothes on me, fools! I will reign the day that I stop being naked all the time. I'm gonna be spend 3 seconds photoshopping you in a maid dress. Do it! Because I'm pretty sure last I checked, I am the designer for the feral maid dress, okay? You know how many comments I get on those maid dresses that people were like, wow, I love the way you make your feral maid dresses? Like, putting a dress on a feral isn't fucking easy. Pocket fairy. Did I put Alvin in a maid dress? Put myself in one. Oh, so you want me to put Albin in a maid dress? Oh yeah, Core has one. Yeah, that's right. I did put Core in one. I made sure you get the nice T-pose too, so he can get the most shameful pose in the world. So you can see every curve of his body being covered in a maid dress. Perfect pose. We'll draw a collab of everyone's characters in maid dresses as well. With Core in the center, because yes, to prove that he is adorable. Have I drawn Grape in a maid dress yet? That is something I want to do. Ah, there we go. The reaction I was looking for. When you tell someone to put them in the maid dress and they yell at you to not do it, that is the best chances to put someone in a maid dress, because then you make it. Dude, I made Blinner a maid dress, right? He didn't even give me the reaction I thought he would, because he was like, do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. I did it, and he was like, oh, thank you. I'm like, what? What do you mean, oh, thank you? You're supposed to go, no, why'd you do it? You know? Exactly. So it needs to be a no, you know? It's hard to find people who are saying don't do it because they actually want it, or don't do it because they actually don't want to see their character in a maid dress, you know? And it's the people that I'm looking for that are actually don't want to have a maid dress on that I'm targeting. Specifically. And it's because I have the power to do that. Because deep down inside, all you people want art from me. I hate to admit it, and I don't want to sound like that kind of guy, but who doesn't want free art? Especially from a community artist, you know? I'm gonna close this out. Where's my pen? Core, drop the pin. I need that. runs. Hey, Core, what's that? Your pin? No! Alright, the screen probably went black. I might mute myself for a second while I get up and go do a few things. Question. What? What's your question? Cloud in the Void. Who is Grape? The Midnight Lycanroc. He's in the VC. He's in the chat right now. Boom. There you go. Big Cloud. Oh, what if I get right? I get some a cloud gif. Hold up. Animated cloud gif, right? And we find a decent loop. Well, we're looking for a loop. That way it's about as flawless as you can get, right? I want to find the pixel one I found for my Discord. Of course, I don't have it anymore because I don't have Discord Premium. I just have Discord Classic. But there's like looped animations of clouds in the background. Pixel cloud animation. Hurricane Cloud. Woo! So that one's not animated. What if I put in GIF? Save image as. This is the one I was using before. And if I go here, add a new widget. Sorry. Add image. Background. And we can put this all the way at the bottom. And we can go to images. How about download? Since I just finished downloading it. Nope, not that one. That that's not the cloud. Oh no, that's a cloud. That's not a background. Hold up. Where's the GIF I just saved? What the heck? Is that? Yeah, this is it. Let me just do that. There we go. We got ourselves a little background. So now you guys can I might also at one point I want to add a live action HoloLive type interactive VTube model, but because hitting these buttons can get in the way sometimes, especially in some very specific games. Because when you hit these buttons, they kind of correlate to very specific keys. So I'm gonna have to change it, and I might just do a HoloLive, which or a live 2D. So I'm gonna do a live 2D model eventually, and I will stream my progress to that as well. I also want to draw an idle sleeping shard, so that way I'm just sleeping, you know. When I'm AFK, I can just do sleeping shard, and it says we'll be right back in the sky. I can help you set that up since I have one. Have one what? A sleeping shard? Or like Twitch overlay? A V model. Oh, for shard? I need one for shard. Like I have V models, right? But they're all 3D V models. I want a live 2D model. Yes, exactly. Oh, I want to do that. I think that would be really cute. Originally, I was assuming that a PNG tuber would be the type of thing I would want to do, but like I said, hitting the buttons gets a little bit tedious. Now, of course, when it comes down to a live 2D, I'm still going to have to hit buttons in order to switch over very minor expressions like the color or the shape of the eyes, from eye slits to open wide pupils, like the ones you see. See, like the icon above the angry, which is like the little Angie head tweak. I don't know what to call it. It's a toggle. I just hit 2, and then boom, now I'm Angie. I hit 3, and boom, now I'm overconfident. I hit 1, and I'm normal again. I was gonna draw more, but after realizing it, if you look at the images, they're all like the line art is different in every single one. So the line art between the images is a little inconsistent, you know. So I think a live 2D would be a little more consistent. Since I only have to draw one image and then animate all the parts using a special program. Not exactly. Not for like if you're looking at something like Shy Lily or Chikadori levels of 2D, yes, you do. But if you're looking for a very mild like what I'm looking for, a very mild 2D avatar, no, you don't. Not really. I've done 2D modeling before, or I've done VTubing before. I did it way back when me and Klaus were experimenting with streaming. I have a camera, I have all of that. In fact, I have a light, I have a camera, I have a bunch of streaming software already. I just threw it in the dump because I wasn't in the mood to stream at the time, and I never had the time because I had work, you know. I came home every day tired as balls, and I'd much rather sleep than stream. So I think a good goal to make for this week, since it is Sunday, we can make a few goals, right? It's Sunday. Okay, we can make a few goals then. My goals for this, it's Sunday. It is literally the 24th. It is, or the 25th. It is Sunday. From today to next Saturday, I'm going to make a few goals. And one specific goal I'm going to have, if you guys stay active, that is, because if you guys don't stay active in these streams, I might move it to next week. But I'm going to end up making a sleep shard, be right back, for the stream. So that way when I do transactions, you guys don't have to look at a black screen for 30-40 minutes while I eat or do whatever it is I'm doing. Core can get another one. I can give Core another dress. Like I said, you have a work schedule, right? No. I'm unemployed. We literally just went over this conversation, Core. I'm unemployed. I have school, but I only have to go to school for 5 hours every day, or like 4 hours every day, so. And it's only 4 days a week. Core said his, not yours. My schedule, not your hacking schedule, nerd. Oh! No, I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. You said you worked Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, right? Dumb cloud. Hey, listen, okay? I'm about as high as the clouds get, okay? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Man's high right now. No, I'm not high. I don't do drugs. I mean, I guess weed isn't technically a drug, but I don't do weed either. It's only a matter of time before someone does a weed cloud. Just cloud smoking weed. I'm gonna catch it when he rains. I plan on. Well, if it rains, I'm not a rain cloud. I don't go. But it's funny. Shard, I think, actually used to have the ability to turn into a rain cloud at one point, but I ended up deciding against it. You guys want to hear me open a bag of chips? There we go. Sir, no. You. I'm hungry too. This is the first meal today. I'm also eating a bagel. ASMR. Let me turn my mic quality up all the way. Let me turn the music down and let me put the mic right up to my mouth as I whisper to you guys and eat. Eat yourself? No. You do it.
For me, I really like Coke.
Oh my.
What do you like about corn?
It's cold. A big corn but not. It has the juice. I'm a beautiful thing.
Turn it down.
It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing.
The thing is, okay, I figured out how to turn it down, but the problem I have, is I like to keep it up during my Skyrim streams, like all the way up, because, there are moments where the game gets a little loud too, so I keep my sound alerts up high. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn it down before the stream started. Sounded bully core with its corn. Okay, can I do sound alerts on my own stream? Hold up. And I bet you can hear the stream now coming through. I bet you can hear the stream now coming. Yep. What if I just turn this on, right? What if I just turn this on, right? The cloud's gone insane. Yeah, more or less. I'm finally awake. That's probably why I'm acting a little crazy now. I got some food in me. Now you guys need to run. Run. Run away from the stream before it's too late. Before you guys get trapped in here for the rest of eternity. Okay. Bye. No! I lost a friend. Lurking time again? Oh, so you're gonna stay around. Okay, got it. I am a tiny shard. Fear me. You will fear me.
Squish the shard. Dean. Alright, and now I'll go eat. Alright, well, I'll still be here when you get back. World of the cheese. Ah! Oh, my shard is not supposed to be floating like that. Hold on. Oh my god, that's better.